Hi, hello, and welcome, or welcome back, I suppose. Yes, we have a little voiceover today. I am not 100% sure how well today's look will show on camera because it's a lot of golds and, I don't know how well shimmery stuff is going to show because I'm not exactly here with a professional setup. Anyway, today we're looking at a book that seems to be one of those that's blown up on TikTok. I'll be honest, I saw it in Waterstones, thought it looked interesting, but couldn't get it in the moment, and then fate decided to be on my side, and the next time I was in the library, there it was on the new stock shelf. So, today we'll be delving into the world of Olivie Blake's The Atlas 6. Now, look, I'm not on TikTok, but I'm sure, like many other big on TikTok books, that this is a deeply divisive book. I'm sure some people love it, I'm sure some people hate it, but the joys of not being on TikTok, so not having to do super short form content, is that, on the whole, I don't have to be so column A or column B about it. Now, one thing I will say is that I can't fully say I know who the intended audience is for this. It feels generally like a young adult book, but there is a fair amount of sexual content, and more so than I generally expect from that age range. Yes, I know that some young adult fiction will feature content like this, but I don't know. Yes, this isn't exactly, erotica, but the age ranges of YA fiction is actually exactly the same as teen fiction, being what I saw was either 12 or 13 to 18, which seems a bit odd to me that young adult fiction and teen fiction is the same, but at the end of the day they are. The difference apparently is not the intended reader, it is generally the protagonists, with teen fiction having, teen protagonists, and then the sort of 18, maybe like 16 to 21 or 18 to 21 fitting the young adult sort of threshold in terms of protagonists. Now, this has a wide-ish range from what I could see of characters, which makes it a bit more difficult given that there are only two characters who fit into the sort of age range. There are two characters there that are about 21, they've just graduated from college. But look, this book could certainly be for someone who's 16 plus, but not necessarily someone younger. I say this because I often felt like I would have enjoyed this more in my late teens. Don't get me wrong, I definitely did enjoy it now, but there's a certain type of insecurity present in many of the characters that feels kind of juvenile, and in that way that it feels like it is aimed for somebody a bit younger, not necessarily a young kid or even a young teen, like I say, and maybe an older teen. A lot of the ways that they are insecure, and yes, I'm aware obviously adults have insecurities as well, but there's something about the way that they're written to be insecure feels very, like I say, a bit juvenile, and the way that on the sort of opposite side of that, the characters that are very confident, it feels so overt that it's like, wow, I kind of wish I could be like them. And yeah, again, in adult fiction you do have that I wish I could be like them, or wow, I seem like I am just like this person kind of thing going on, but it's hard to explain without there's too much to be able to get to you in a relatively short video. I'm not doing a huge deep dive on this, but like I say, it's hard to judge who this book is aimed at. I will say though, these characters are still very interesting. I just wish they evolved a little bit more. We see an evolution in Libby, Tristan, and to some extent I guess Callum, but I generally like to have seen a bit more. It's hard to explain because I found the way that everyone plays off each other really interesting, but it doesn't actually feel like a year has gone by because there doesn't seem to be much change. Now, look, no, most of us don't become a completely new person in 365 days, but were we put in their situation, I do think that we would start to experience some form of change. You know, we'd still be noticeably us, but there would be no way for us to come out exactly the same as we were when we went in. Now, what I will say is, as it should be, one of the best parts of this book is the magic. It's very clear that Blake spent time on her system and made it work really well. The way she roots it in somewhat with science, especially quantum physics, is really fascinating, and that's especially to do with the physical magic, which was personally my favourite to read about. That's with the two younger characters, Libby and Nico, who are kind of a duo. They're very fun. But all the areas of specialities are really interesting. I wish we'd been able to spend a bit more time with Raina and her specialty, the naturalism side of things. If/when I read the sequel, I'm hoping we get to explore her capabilities much more. I don't know if the sequel is a direct follow-on from this, or if it's a kind of the next group of 6. I'm hoping it's not the next group of 6. And something with the magic that I really appreciated personally was the fact that magic isn't easy. Everyone has things that are easy to them. They don't take much energy, but if it's something that they have to put effort into, then it takes a real toll on their minds and on their bodies. I much prefer that to a kind of what if you gave Penn and Teller real magic powers type thing, and you do get that with magic a fair amount. Some people, it's like a certain spells have darkness to them and that'll take a toll on your body, and for other people it's just anybody can do a spell if they learn it. But in this case, you know, you have your specialty area, but if you have to put real effort into something, it's gonna take a toll on you, and I really like that. It's always my preference, that kind of magic having consequences. I certainly did enjoy this book. The story and concept were both really cool. Maybe I wanted a little more from the characters, but I never found myself not wanting to find out what happened to them. I liked who I was supposed to like, I disliked who I was supposed to dislike, and not knowing where I sat with those who were morally grey was where I ended up. I never felt apathetic, and with a big group of characters that can often happen. And, you know, I never felt that kind of, I'm supposed to like you, but I just fucking can't. Everything worked for the most part. You know what I mean? You know, it was great fun, and I know which of my friends I would recommend this to. And off the top of my head, the books that they've previously recommended to me have been A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and Song of Achilles. So maybe if they're the sort of things that are in your wheelhouse, then this will be too. I don't know if I'll read the sequel, probably only if I find it at the library. It doesn't seem like one I'd buy. I don't generally think this is a book that I would gravitate towards again, but I did have fun with it. Yeah, so let's see. I don't know what I've got next. Shall we see? I believe on Thursday we have All the Lonely People by Mike Gale, and then we have the rest of January planned. We're starting to have a bit of February planned. Go me. I mean, we'll see how that actually turns out if I end up ruining it by trying to read too much at once. But, you know, in theory, we have plans going on. So, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, a wonderful whenever you are watching this. Do all that good stuff like liking and commenting and sharing. Let me know if you've read this and let me know what you think of it, because I feel like it's one of those that a lot of people that are going to be really 50-50 on. or at the very least a kind of apathetic. Why am I getting so many fucking messages right at the point that I was filming? There was nothing before I was filming. Anyway, yeah, let me know what you thought of this, and let me know if there's anything you want to see me read, or if there's anything you've seen on, say, TikTok, anything like that, and you've been a bit wary because maybe you've been burned by TikTok recommendations before and you want to see somebody else give a little review. I can see if I can find it at the library or something like that. So yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful time. Right.